Earthen finishes of Wayanad. Your skin is a reflection of one's inner health. Wayanad is a host of beautiful earthen finish in the palette of earthen colors, with stunning rich greys, pearly whites, and deep blacks, all representing the five elements of nature perfectly. The traditional plastering techniques of this region are based on the locally available resources as a natural finish should be. That is the first rule of the vernacular. A natural finish, whether a plaster or a earth smeared floor, is always energy efficient. The materials for which are non-laborious to collect, easily sourced. This certainly reacts well with the climate, keeping in mind that they are born of the same. The pearly whites. The rich white plasters are often used for walls, ideally to reflect the glare from the sun and the heat as well. Ramadan's home is a brilliant example of a glowing finishes. The plaster which coats this home is simply the white mud found in the bed of the nearby streams or the bottom of the ponds. This mud is basically clay. The process used to make these plasters are interesting indeed. The geology plays a vital role in determining the color palettes from the earthen finishes here. Pots are made with this mud, which is really clay. The reason may be that the time the mud is collected in post-monsoon won't coincide with the season of plastering. Thus, these pots are made and stored uncooked. The walls have to be plastered before the monsoon arrives. It is then that these mud vessels are broken and used for plastering the house. The lime finishes. The lime is usually used for plastering. The other variety of white plaster is generally the ultimate most coat, a more protective one. It is combination of lime, fine river sand, and gum from the bark of a tree known as kulamavu. The lime offer water and pest resistant property. The fine sand binds and gives strength, while the bark extract offers antifungal and antibacterial property. The third variety of plaster is kumayam, a type of whitewash in which lime is used as a chief ingredient for these water resistant finishes here. This is applied over the mud walls to make it water resistant. Grey and brown color using earth. The greys are the most often found in this land of plenty. Ramadan's home portrays earthen finishes of grey and whites. The ash from burned rice straw contributes to the deep grey. When burned, the cellulose of the rice straw reduces to silica. The ash is also a very good candidate for thermal insulation. The other ingredient used is the sap from the bark of kulamavu tree. The sap and the rice straw ash are combined to make a fine plaster. This is then applied as a final coat over dwellings. When the grey mixture of ash and kulamavu sap is wet, interesting patterns are created on these walls, created by swift movement of the fingertips. The patterns have a glossy appearance and bring out another shade which contribute to the aesthetics of the building. Flooring. Yet another black greys that comfort your senses. We find Ramakrishnan Ji's floor and seating spaces smeared with a black grey of cowdung and ash, which they have proudly named the Japan black finish. A rich grey that provided a comfort for the food, one of the main source of body heat loss, provided an insulated surface that were warm during the winter but cool during the hot summer of Wayanad. The floor has to be fixed first as it has an undulated texture. For this we mix mud, rice husk and a little bit of sand is also used. We apply it with our hands. After the first coat has set, we prepare the second coat with the cowdung, mud and a sap from the plant known as kulamavu. The third and the penultimate coat consists of cowdung only, which is a pest resisting ingredient. This is the setting base for the final coat. The final coat is what the cool grey worm is all about. It is a rich combination of cowdung and the ash with water. The ash is often the charred residue of burnt straw. Although lamb black is also used as it gives a jet black pigment. This final coat is like the skin of our body. It needs renewal periodically, every few weeks. First application of this final coat, however, needs a good quantity of cowdung. This is applied with hands is a thicker layer. The remaining application after the previous layers dry wet is done by cloth. This mixture has more of the watery consistency, which is why cloth application is opted. These earthen finishes of Wayanad are a result of thorough research by our ancestors that throw some light on insightful facts. It is now with the crutches of modern science that we can understand how inhaling cowdung's smeared floor is equal to taking an antidepressant. How carefully orchestrated the nature farm produce is for the rice straw ash to be used to coat our floors. Sometimes the answers are just around the corner. Materials in our backyard waiting to be explored. And all we need to do is to get plastered.